What is up? What is happening? It's AJ from Brock's Table here, and today we have a very fun video, and we're going to be looking at the worst trade proposals on Cap Friendly for Mitch Marner. Leaf fans are mad. Leaf fans are upset. Rightfully so. Their team, once again, lost in the first round to the Boston Bruins. They've won one first round playoff in, I believe, 18 years, something crazy like that. And they want answers, they want changes, and one of the main targets right now to get moved from the Toronto Maple Leafs is Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner is not known to be a playoff performer, apparently, but when you look at his stats, I'm not going to say he's a good playoff player, or a great playoff player, or a clutch playoff player, but when you look at his stats, he has 50 points in 57 games. From everything the media says, and, all the talk around him about him and the Maple Leafs struggling in the playoffs, I didn't expect him to have 50 points in 57 games. I know he's one of the best players since he came into the league. Don't get me wrong. I understand that. I was expecting 25 or 30. 50 and 57, I understand. He's not clutch. He's not helping them win. I understand that. But I was expecting a lot worse for the point production-wise. Leaf fans, I know there's going to be a bunch of you probably watching this video, and rightfully so. It's a pretty big talking point within your fandom right now. Let me know down below if you want Mitch Marner gone and why do you want Mitch Marner gone. I don't think there's a wrong answer. I think obviously they need to fix the back end. I trust in Joseph Woll personally, but I know maybe some people don't. He didn't play because he was out. Samsonov, But they need to fix the back end. So if you want to get rid of Marner to try to help the back end, I get it. Trust me, I get it. So, we're on Cap Friendly, like I said. Let's go look at some of the worst trades. We're going to start out with the interactive trade proposals, and if those aren't really doing it, we can go through Leafs Cap Friendly roster builders, but I think the trade machine will give us enough Mitch Marner content because he is the main talking point right now. Okay, yeah, the first one, it's all Toronto. I'd say I feel bad for you guys, but I don't. So this trade is going to be Mitch Marner for Jonathan Marchessault and a first-round pick. No. I went through some of them like a few days ago. The people are underrating Mitch Marner a lot. Marchessault's a free agent. Why would they trade his rights in a first-round pick for Mitch Marner at 50% retained? These are going to be bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not looking at these and saying, oh, wow, this is going to happen. 95% of these are going to be bad, and I want to laugh at how bad these are. This one, terrible. All right, a blockbuster between Nashville, Toronto, and Arizona, or Utah. Not fun. Is it Marner related? Yes, it is. Okay. So, Marner is going to the Predators, and they're getting rid of John Tavares somehow. So you're getting rid of Tavares, Marner, Yarncroke for bringing in Bugstad, who's a free agent, I'm pretty sure. Nick Schmaltz, who's a very good player. Thomas Novak, a very underrated player. UC Soros, Jeremy Lauzon, great season for him. Luke Prokop, Alex Kerfoot comes back, a first, a second, and a third. So Marner and Yarncroke for a first, Soros, Novak, Lauzon, and Prokop. I don't even know if the Leafs have the roster spots to even make that trade go through for now. Just saying the actual side of it. I mean, obviously, UC Soros would be a really good ad for them. Don't get me wrong. But Thomas Novak, good forward. Lauzon is something they really could use. He broke the hits record this year, or he led the league in hits. I'm pretty sure he broke the hits record for a single season this year. Good season for him. But realistically, that's a lot of moving parts, especially with Tavares then going to Utah. Which, if they had John Tavares, Utah, that wouldn't be the worst thing for them. They really need a face of the franchise player. They do have Clayton Keller, who's better than John Tavares, but markability-wise, I don't know if how far Clayton Keller's face will get to the mainstream media, the NBA fans. If you showed an NBA fan who is Clayton Keller, not sure most of them would know. Not that they would know John Tavares either, but I think John Tavares definitely brings more of a oomph than Clayton Keller, even though Keller's a better and obviously a lot younger player. I like the idea of Utah getting a big name this offseason. I just don't think Tavares is the right one, especially when you're giving up some really key pieces, because they're not going to be trading key pieces for John Tavares. If they're going to take on John Tavares, it's going to be with assets. Like, it would be Tavares and picks or prospects. We have Mitch Marner to Detroit. Okay, let's see what Big Davey has for Mitch Marner to Detroit. Seider and 2 4th-round picks for Marner. Not awful. Not great, though. I think the idea of trading for Seider is very interesting. I think Seider struggled the last 2 years. I know point-wise, he put up 42 points last year, or this year, but I know his Corsi, his analytics, they haven't been where people want them to be. His game cards, quote-unquote, they usually have him towards the bottom every single night. I don't know if that's because of his defense partner or what's up with that. I don't watch the Red Wings enough, so I can't really say, but Seider still is a very good and young, promising defenseman. I think Marner still warrants more than this. It's not a bad start to a deal, but I also don't see Detroit giving up on Seider at all. But I'm hoping Seider does take that Norris level step next season. He's very young, so don't get me wrong. I know people had real high hopes for him after his incredible rookie year. He's still a very good player, but not top tier. But he's young. He has a lot of time to grow. So I'm going to say no to that trade once again. Not the worst thing ever. Toronto, Chicago, sweet swap. Oh, yeah. So they're going to take on Seth Jones, a first and a second for, I mean, it would be a pretty good first round pick, to be fair, if it's next year's. So Seth Jones, a first and a second for Marner, Liljegren, David Kampf, and Pexa. I don't know who that is personally, so can't comment on him. No, never going to happen. Never, ever going to happen. Marner for Pesci. Is this just Marner for Pesci straight up? How stupid are we? Jordan Martinook and Brett Pesci are unrestricted free agents. Why is Mitch Marner being traded for 2 unrestricted free agents? Enough. Stupid. Bad. The worst trades for Mitch Marner on Cap Friendly. Troy Terry, Isaac Lundstrom, a second-round pick for Marner and Liljegren. Get lost. This is bad. This is stupid. I don't dislike the idea of Marner going anywhere. If he went to Anaheim, it'd be interesting. It just doesn't make sense for them where they're at right now, especially for Troy Terry and Lundstrom. You can get a lot more for that, and Liljegren's good too, or solid. I can't comment. I don't watch his game too much personally, but he's an NHL defenseman, and Terry's good. He had a down year. He was also injured. Lundstrom's a good forward, decent forward, but we're talking about Mitch Marner here. Stupid. All right, so Mitch Marner goes to Utah with Connor Timmins. Let's go down the rest of it. They are then... Why is Elias Lindholm... Why? Do we not understand UFAs are not going to be in trades? UFAs are not trading pieces. This is so stupid. Elias Lindholm's literally a free agent. They haven't signed him. Why are we putting him in a trade for Mitch Marner? Sorry. That had to come out. It's a bad day. It's a sad day. I'm looking on cap-friendly trades. I want to cry already. All right. Tavares, Marner, Liljegren. Ducks get Tavares, Liljegren. Or maybe they don't get Liljegren. I don't know. I don't like the way they do the 3-way trades. I wish they had a little bit more. I wish they had a little bit better looking. So they're getting rid of Tavares, Marner, Liljegren in a third, and they're getting in Weegar, Anderson, Troy Terry. I mean, Anderson's good, Weegar's good, Terry's good, but, no, it's just not going to happen. There's never trades like this in the NHL. I'm not saying that these trades are supposed to be the most realistic of all time. This should be pretty fun. Why would they trade Marner for... I get it. Weegar and Anderson would be great for them. They'd be 2 key adds, It just doesn't make much sense with the Tavares aspect, too. Because, Anaheim isn't going to want to take on Tavares for practically nothing. They're not going to take on Tavares and a third-round pick. If there was a Flames aspect and it was only Flames Maple Leafs, then we could talk here. This one's interesting, and it involves my New York Islanders here. Mitch Marner and Joseph Wolf for Ilya Sorokin. I don't think this is a bad trade. think this is probably the best one we've seen so far. Simplest one as well. I don't know if Wool should be in it considering they're getting Sorokin. I think the Islanders still have to add a little bit, but the Leafs would have Ilya Sorokin locked in for, I believe, 7 or 8 years at $8 million. Really good goaltender. He did struggle a little bit this year, but still, they're getting the best goalie they've seen since probably Curtis Joseph. Right? Probably. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. The Islanders could really use Mitch Marner, and then they'd have Joseph Wool as their starter. I don't know how much value Wool has. So with that, if we're going to say he has a good amount of value, which I don't know what a good amount of value would be at this exact second, I still think the Islanders might have to add a little bit more, even though Marner is expiring soon and Sorokin isn't. But I think this is actually a really good basis for a deal. This would help out the Islanders. This would help out the Maple Leafs. It's pretty realistic. If I was the Islanders, I wouldn't hate moving out Sorokin to bring in a Mitch Marner. It's not the ideal situation considering you just signed him for $72-some million last summer. It's not a good look for the fan base either, who, they love Sorokin. They're passionate about Sorokin. Sometimes the Islanders need to make a big move. This big move could really help out both teams. I'm not going to say yes to this deal because I think the Islanders do have to add more personally, but let me know down below what you think of a Sorokin and Marner trade, because I think that's one of the bigger ones that is being talked around in the Twitter world, where it's like, oh, maybe that honestly doesn't sound too bad, but I know it's obviously not easy giving up your franchise goaltender that you just signed for $72 million. It is a very interesting thought, though. I think that's been the best one we've seen so far. Let's do another Islander one. I'm sorry. It's just the next Islander one. It's the next Maple Leaf one. Okay, this won't happen, but it's also another interesting basis for a trade. Similar to the Sorokin deal, Scott Mayfield's not a part of this deal. The Maple Leafs want nothing to do with Scott Mayfield's contract, nor does half the league, or the entire league. I like Scott Mayfield. No one's taking that contract. 6 more years at $3.5 million. Hopefully he has a better season next year. He was out for most of this year, so it is what it is. But Mayfield's not going to be any deals. Noah Dobson for Mitch Marner. Pretty interesting trade. Noah's contract's up at the end of the year. Marner's contract's up, I believe, at the end of next year as well. Dobson's contract is up after next year, just to clarify. Dobson put up 70 points this year. He's going to get some Norris votes. I can guarantee that. He will get one Norris vote, at least in the 4th or 5th spot. Which he had a great year. Very good year. He got injured at the end of it, tailed off a little bit towards the last 15, 20 games. But still, 70 points, great year, especially on the low-scoring New York Islanders. Very impressive year for Noah Dobson, like I said. It could be the move that both teams want to make. If the Islanders don't want to pay Dobson what he's worth, which is probably 8.5 to 9, I'd be shocked the Maple Leafs didn't want Noah Dobson. Right-hand defenseman, 24 years old, put up 70 points. Imagine him on that power play with Matthews and Nylander. It would do really well there. The only issue with Dobson, in my opinion, is he isn't a playoff-proven player. In high-pressure situations, he has proven to struggle from time to time. So it's not like you're coming in and you're getting a clutch player, which, they did get in John Tavares. I know this is very Islander-centric right now, but when he was on the Islanders, John Tavares was Captain Clutch in the playoffs. He was great. He was a leader. He was incredible. With Toronto, he hasn't been bad. I don't know his stats off the top of my head, but he hasn't, carried them, obviously, and they have a much better squad than the Islander squads Tavares was with here. I think Marner for Dobson straight up is an interesting and possible option. I think that's one of the better ones we've seen. I'm not saying that because I want Mitch Marner. Obviously, I do. Next up, we have Marner to Utah. We had 2 pretty good trades. Now we're trading Mitch Marner for 3 second-round picks and Nick Schmaltz. Oh, cap friendly. Never change. Or please do. Be a lot better if you did. Spencer Knight. No. Why? 2 seconds and a 5th, and Spencer Knight and some other prospect who I don't know who it is, to be fair, for Mitch Marner. No, and some other Leafs prospect I don't know. Why? Stop that. Blockbuster trade with Toronto and... In what world, man? So, Taylor Hall, Seth Jones, 2 first-round picks, a second and a third going to Toronto for Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. No, come on. I'm not... It would genuinely cost Bedard to, I believe, get Matthews and Marner. The Maple Leafs will never trade Austin Matthews unless they get Bedard or McDavid. I don't even know if they do it at that point. You got a guy who put up 70 goals this year, or 69, whatever. Very close to 70, if not 70. Why would they do that? Stupid. Martin to San Jose to play with Celebrini and Will Smith. Okay. This is actually pretty interesting. So, Samsonov, Marner, Timmins, and a third for Mario Ferraro, which would make sense. Thomas Bordeleau, which would make sense. Don't know who Danil Gushin is. Don't know who that is. 2 firsts and a second. A first being the Penguins' first round pick this year, which I believe is 15 or 14 or 16. That's not a bad deal, honestly. I think it does get a little bit confusing once you add Samsonov. But the basis of 2 first-round picks, Bordeleau and Ferraro, and I guess the second, I don't know if, Samsonov's not a throw-in, obviously, but that's not bad. That's really not bad. I don't think they would do it because Ferraro would help them now. Bordeleau is a young, promising talent who needs to do more in the league, but still young, up-and-coming player, and they get the first-round picks to use for trades. That's probably one of the better trades we've seen, and one of the more interesting ones, too, especially sending Mitch Marner to San Jose. I don't think that version of that trade would happen, but a basis of Mitch Marner going to San Jose for 2 first-round picks, probably 25 is going to be protected for some sorts, and Ferraro and Bordeleau, I don't hate that idea at all. I actually like that one quite a bit. I think that's a pretty solid idea. I don't think Marner would want to go there. He also does have a no movement clause, so he has to waive that. But everyone, the media is saying they could bully him out of it if they keep writing mean articles about his dad. We'll see. I hate... Oh my god. This is definitely a Penguins fan. It has to be. I've seen some Maple Leaf fans, Maple Leafs fan 508 on here. Not a real person, but, just putting, Marner for, 2 seconds and a third. Come on. Bad. This trade, awful. Lars Eller, Marcus Pettersson, Riley Smith for David Kampf, Mitch Marner, and Connor Timmins. Why do we think Mitch Marner is a 60-point 34-year-old? I don't get it. The Mitch Marner disrespect is out of control. It is. That's going to be the last one we look at. Let me know down below if you would do any of those trades. I think the Sharks one was very intriguing, especially with the first-round picks. I think the Dobson and Sorokin ones could happen. And I think there could be a basis around one with UC Saros in Nashville. Mitch Marner, very interesting case. We'll see where he goes. Personally, I don't think he gets traded. I think they're going to try to free up some other moves, maybe even get rid of Morgan Riley. I don't know how that would work. I just don't see them getting rid of Mitch Marner. But if they do, come to Long Island, Mitchie. Hope you guys enjoyed. This was a fun one to do. Let me know down below what you thought of this video. Peace out, everybody. Have a good one.